What's going on, my friends? 2K25 is coming to an end here soon. The game has been out for about 10 months, and 2K26 is right around the corner, so we're taking some time to kind of go over the game. I talked about the 5 best builds last week, 5 things that 2K got right this year with 2K25, and so now I want to talk about the 5 best heights in 2K25. I want to make this kind of content because when 2K26 comes out, it's always fun to compare and contrast. Like recently, I played a random rec game in 2K24, scored about 35 points in that game, and just the way that 2K24 was designed compared to this year, whether it was gameplay, dribble moves, shots, and builds, there's definitely a lot to compare and contrast. Definitely a lot of changes were made from 2K24 to 2K25. And that's a lot easier to do once we've been playing 2K25 for a long time. So same idea with this video today, talking about the best heights in 2K25. And then later on, when 2K26 comes out, we can kind of compare and contrast the builds this year compared to the next year. So if you enjoy the content that we're doing over here, please subscribe and leave a like on this video and comment below what is your favorite height this year. I'm going to talk about the 5 that I really like. I have 13 builds. All right, I might have an issue with my wallet, with my cards, so it's easy for me to tell you and sit here with confidence. These are the 5 best heights. I've got a 6'2", a 6'4", a 6'6", a 6'8", and a 7-footer, and I'm showing you the builds that really worked this year. So sub up if you enjoy what we're doing. We're on the road to 3,000 subs, so appreciate the love and support as always. Enough with the yapping, let's get right into it. For me, 6'2", we're going to start from the shortest height to the tallest height. These are the 5 heights that I really like this year, and I'm going to go in detail of why I like them. 6'2", I mean, for obvious reasons, as a point guard, I was a point guard this year for Pro-Am, played in a lot of tournaments, played against, former pros in 2K, and the 6'2" point guard, is what I use pretty much all year. With the ability to get mini marksman, I definitely think 6'2" is really, really good. When the game first came out, people thought that the 5'9" was going to be unbelievable. With the combination of mini marksman and just having a bunch of attributes to add to your build, it was safe to say that 5'9s looked cracked. But then once we started playing the game, 5'9s weren't very good. And if you wanted to be a shorter build but still get mini marksman, 6'2" was the way to go. For instance, with this build, I can get an 89 driving dunk, enough to get posterizer on silver. Can badge +1 it, 2 gold. Very, very, very solid, and still maintain a 99 3 with cap breakers, maybe even a little bit more midi with cap breakers, and a 95 ball handle with cap breakers. So 6'2" height, you can make a way more well-rounded build. This is similar to the build that I had this year in Pro-Am. 95 ball handle, 99 3-pointer. You can go up to a 94 midi if you wanted to with this build. But personally, I would have done, obviously you have to keep the 89 driving dunk, 5 cap breakers here for 99 3, 5 cap breakers here for 95 ball handle, and then 3 more here for speed with ball. And then after that, you can just up midi until you can't anymore. 6'2" was a lot of fun. I don't know how successful mini marksman was this year. I might have to update my video of overrated and underrated badges now that we're 10 months into this game. And kind of solidify which badges were pretty overrated. In my opinion, mini marksman was pretty overrated. A lot of locks are bigger than you in this game. A lot of builds will be bigger than you in this game if you're 6'2", but mini marksman didn't feel like it did enough, in my opinion. I think you were making a lot of tough shots just because the contest system was bad. And a lot of people turn to a 6'2" point guard, or excuse me, a 6'4" point guard, which this is more of a shooting guard like build with the 71 pass, but this was probably the best shooting guard build at 6'4". 71 pass, 99 3, 95 ball handle, and then managing to get a 97 speed as well. So 5 here, 5 here, and 5 here. Really fast build, but you could easily change this build into a point guard build if you wanted to just lower your steal a good amount, lower your perimeter a good amount, obviously the speed and agility, and you have more than enough attribute points to then go high pass with a little bit more midi. But yeah, like I said, 6'4s was, I think, the glitchiest height for guards this year in terms of like dribbling guards. I'm going to talk about taller guards in a second, but people went to the 6'4" height this year, whether it was Park and it was the speed demon builds that had 99 speed, agility, 3 and midi. You know, these builds didn't really get contested a whole lot. So that's why I would say that mini marksman really wasn't worth it at the end of the day, because, you know, you could go up 2 more inches and have a very similar build, but be taller and be harder to close out. So I think 6'4" without mini marksman was a lot better than 6'2" with mini marksman. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. But, you know, 6'4" was a really good height. This is a shooting guard version of it. And people were also being locks this year. You know, 97 speed and agility, 99 perimeter and steal, still maintaining a lot of 3, getting set shot specialist on gold, while also still being able to dunk, rebound, defend low, you know, lower in the paint. 55 interior, you could probably go more there, but, you know, 97 speed and agility is what you could get on this kind of build with 99 speed, or excuse me, with 99 perimeter and steal. 6'4s were cracked. In one Pro-Am tournament, we played Dat Boy Dimes, who was using a 6'4 with 99 speed at shooting guard, which was unbelievable. I've played a lot of builds this year at lock that had 97 speed and agility with 99 perimeter and steal. This was probably the most souped up year for locks, because you could get a ton of speed and a ton of perimeter and a ton of steal. So 6'4 was probably just as glitchy as a 6'2, if not, in my opinion, it was the glitchiest height this year at 6'4. When you think about, when you factor in speed and being able to get speed with either high perimeter and steal, or high speed with ball and ball handle, and high 3 if you wanted to be a shooting guard. My personal favorite, I'm not going to say it was the best height in 2K this year, because I really do think that 6'4 was the best height, just because I'm a guard. I like being guard. It's fun to dribble. It's a fun challenge. But if you wanted to make a well-rounded build, you could easily make a 6'6". For instance, if you wanted to make like a power forward build that I think is the best build to use in random rec, for instance, you know, you could make a build like this when you have 99 steal with 5 cap breakers there, 92 rebound with 5 more cap breakers there, and then using 5 more cap breakers here and having 92 speed. The version of this build that I made, that was very, very similar in terms of height and being able to do a little bit of everything, looked something like this. Let me see if I can just do it on the fly right quick. Oh, and then you lower this. Bow. Boom. Let's do that. And then free throw. Sorry about that. But like, for instance, this build right here, like I had a 90 vertical with a 92 speed, with a 92 rebound, with a 99 steal, still being able to get limitless, still being able to dunk. I can't dribble. I can't, you know, go, you know, anywhere with my dribbles, but you know, that's not what this build is designed to do. This build was designed to really guard 1 through 5 at a pretty high level. 88 interior, 85 perimeter, 74 block, 85 strength, really, really fast. If you want to make a 6'6" all-around build, you know, this was the kind of build that you were making right here. If you wanted to dribble a little bit and be 6'6", well, then you could probably be my favorite build in 2K this year, the 6'6", 99 midi build. 5 cap breakers here for 99 midi, 5 cap breakers here for 95 speed, 3 cap breakers here to get limitless on gold, and then an extra cap breaker here to get all your defensive badges on gold. This build was really, really fun to use this year. Combine a 99 midi with a 6'6" height and a subpar, pretty bad contest system in 2K25. This was my favorite build this year. I posted a bunch of content. This was actually the second build I made this year in 2K25, all the way back in September, and I butchered it. I didn't have high agility, I didn't have high speed, and it's still my favorite build to use. If I had to remake my 99 midi build, it would look something like this. Really, really fun build. And again, 6'6", being able to do a little bit everything. If you didn't want to, you know, dribble a ton, but you wanted to defend, you could be a lock. So now you got 93 agility, 94 speed with cap breakers, 99 steal and perimeter at 6'6". Being 6'6" and having 94 speed was scary. I think the 6'6" was the scariest to go up against, because their animations were better than a 6'4" lock. You got better bump animations, and it was was just cracked, honestly. The taller that you were at lock and, you know, maintaining that speed, you know, the scarier you were. 93 agility and 94 speed on a 6'6 lock is unreal. Last year, locks were pretty slow for the meta last year, and this year they just souped them up even more. It seems like locks are kind of like patch proof. You're always going to have a great lock because you're not going to be able to, you know, you're not going to be able to dribble, and you're not going to want to pass. You're never really going to have the ball in offense, but when you do, you're going to shoot or dunk, and that's all that's really left after having all of this perimeter and steal, plus adding cap breakers. I mean, 6'6 builds were the most fun in my opinion. I'm not ranking these in order from best to worst, really just showing you guys that a 6'6 was pretty souped up. To me, the more underrated height this year was probably 6'8. We used a 6'8 shooting guard this year for Pro-Am, and it looked something like this. 90 standing dunk, getting better animations down low. Did it trigger a lot? You know, not really, but you know, having that posterizer pretty high on bronze. You can have it on silver if you want a badge +1. I don't know why, but a fair level. I mean, if you have any posterizer at all, you know, it's expensive to get to, all things considered. But a standing dunk at 90, driving dunk at 80, 5 cap breakers here for 96 if you wanted it. You missed out on limitless, but that's okay. 95 perimeter here, 89 speed and agility after cap breakers, and still getting, you know, a fair amount of ball handle. 81 ball handle was a really good threshold. There's no reason to go up to an 85 ball handle just because, you know, Devin Booker aggressive, whatever it was, aggressive move launched you forward past a defender, and being 6'8 or the 6'6 I just showed, like, you were easily shooting over them, no contest at all. That's what made 6'8 so glitchy this year at shooting guard, was like the contest system was so bad. So as long as you like kind of could finesse the system a little bit, you know, get by them with that Devin Booker escape move or whatever it was called, the aggressive move, or Kawhi Leonard behind the back, like you were set after that. You didn't really need anything else. So this build right here was a lot of fun to use. I have plenty of content over 6'8 guard builds, whether it was mine with 93 layup, the one that we use in Pro-Am with this build right here. 6'8 was cracked this year. To me, is it better than a 6'6? I don't think so, personally. I think you can get a 99 midi, which is just far better, but you know, for the people that use a 6'4 point guard over a 6'2, it's the same idea with the 6'8 and 6'6. Like, if you're someone that can really time a jump shot, you know, you could argue that the 6'8 is better. I like having legendary badges because I stink at this game, so I like the 6'6 more, but let me tell you something, the 6'8 was pretty fun. The last build I want to talk about, not necessarily the best height ever, but, you know, 7 footers are very, very meta this year. Especially at 7 foot, being able to shoot, get your contact dunks down low. 93 pass was pretty good. Badge +1 dimer to legend, very, very solid. And then obviously, you know, 99 O board, D board, and strength was seen a little too much this year. They need to patch this because this was crazy. 99 rebounds and strength, like you shouldn't be able to do that. And still being able to dunk, shoot, pass, like. This was cracked. This was cracked. And still being kind of fast for a 7 footer. I mean, you're fat, you're 263. You know, 65 speed isn't amazing, but still pretty good. I mean, like I said, break starter, you're going to get Hall of Fame as well. You're going to get your contacts. You're going to shoot. You're going to rebound. Like, 7 footers were pretty good, but for the most part, to me, 6'2, 6'4, 6'6 were the 3 best heights this year, by far and away. In whichever order, depends on your position. If you're going to be a lock, you can decide between a 6'4 and a 6'6. If you're going to be a point guard, you can decide between a 6'2 and a 6'4. If you're a guard in 2s or 3s, you can decide between a 6'4 and a 6'2. If you're a shooting guard, you know, you can decide between a 6'4 and a 6'6. Or if you're a lock, you can decide between a 6'4 and a 6'6. So the fact that you had 2 options between those 2 heights, to me, that's what makes it glitchy. Personally, the 6'8 was very glitchy in my opinion. And then, I mean, 7 footer was kind of just typical for a center this year. So let me know if I got something wrong. What height did I miss out on? You know, why be 6'9 when you can get more attributes at 6'8? Why be 6'7" when you can get more attributes at a 6'6", or just be taller with a 6'8" and have similar stats? So that's how I deciphered between those four heights there, 6'6" to 6'9", kind of meet in the middle of both of those. But let me know what I got wrong. I'm definitely going to post a video talking about the 5 worst heights. Like, why would you make a 5'9"? Why would you make a 6'5"? You know what I'm saying? So those are things to consider. I'll talk about that in the next video whenever that comes out. But let me know what I got wrong in today's video. And again, thank you very much for the love and support as always. It's been a crazy last 2 years doing 2K content. So thank you very much. We're on the road to 3,000. I will see you in the next video. Apologize for the continuous yapping, but peace.